The Meru, Amîrú, Ameru, or Ngaa people are a Bantu ethnic group that inhabit the Meru region of Kenya on the fertile lands of north and eastern slopes of Mount Kenya, in the former Eastern Province of Kenya. The name Meru refers to both the people and the region, which for many years was the only administrative unit. In 1992, the Greater Meru was divided into 3 administrative units: Meru Central, Meru North, and Tharaka-Nithi. After the promulgation of a new constitution in Kenya on the 27th of August 2010, the Greater Meru was further redefined and now consists of the twin counties of Tharaka-Nithi and Meru. The Greater Meru covered approximately 13,000 square kilometers, stretching from the Thusi River on the border with Embu County in the south, to the border with Isiolo County in the north. The Ameru people comprise 9 sections: the Igoji, Amenti, Tigania, Maitine, Igembe, Mwibi, Muthambi, Chaka and Taraka. The Taraka live in the semi-arid part of the Greater Meru, and they, together with the Mwibi, Muthambi and Chaka, form the Tharaka-Nithi County. The Ameru, however, unrelated to the Wameru of northern Tanzania, other than both being avid farming Bantu communities. Languages. The Ngaa people known as Meru speak the Amîîrú language. Amîîrú's Kikamba, Kiembu, Kimbia, Kisii and Kikuyu share critical language characteristics. The Amîîrú language is however not uniform across the Greater Meru but comprises several mutually intelligible dialects depending on the section from which the speaker originates. More importantly, each of the dialect is a reflection of previous migratory patterns, the level of intra-community interactions, and the influences of other adjacent Bantu, Nilotic and Cushitic communities. As a whole, language scholars have demonstrated that the Amîîrú language exhibits much older Bantu characteristics in grammar and phonetic forms than the other neighboring Bantu languages. History. The Ngaa people are of Bantu origin. Like the closely related Kikuyu, Embu and Mabia, they are concentrated in the vicinity of Mount Kenya, the exact place that the Ameru ancestors migrated from after the initial Bantu expansion from West Africa is uncertain. Some authorities suggest that they arrived in the present Mount Kenya area of inhabitation from earlier settlements further to the north and east, while others argue that the Meru, along with the closely related Eastern Bantu neighbors that moved into Kenya from points further south. Enyuri and Siheke, the Council of Elders. The Ameru have since the 17th century been governed by elected and hierarchical councils of elders from the clan level right up to the Supreme Enyuri and Siheke Council. To become a member of the Enyuri and Siheke is the highest social rank to which a Meru man can aspire. The elders forming the Enyuri and Siheke are carefully selected and comprise mature, composed, respected and incorruptible members of the community. This is necessary as the work requires great wisdom, personal discipline, and knowledge of the traditions. The Enyuri and Siheke is also the apex of the Meru traditional judicial system, and their edicts apply across the entire community. The functions of the Enyuri and Siheke are to make and execute community laws, to listen to and settle disputes, and to pass on community knowledge and norms across the generations in the role as the custodians of traditional culture. Local disputes will invariably first be dealt with by lower ranks of the elders, then the middle rank and finally the Enyuri and Siheke. However, Enyuri and Siheke does not handle matters involving non-Meru people, or those that are expressly under the Kenya's common law. Interestingly, the determination of cases by the Ngaa, just like is for common law, relies a lot on case law and precedents. A lesser-known, yet important function of the Ngaa is the overseeing and enforcing the rules and regulations controlling the use and conservation of open grasslands, salt licks and forests. The work as conservators extends to the preservation of the sacred sites. The Ngaa is also influential in the socio-economic and political decision-making amongst the Meru. The Council of Elders spearheaded the establishment of the Meru College of Science and Technology and donated 641 acres of community land in 1983 for its siting and development. The college was in 2008 upgraded to a University College of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, and in early 2013 awarded a charter by Mwai Kibaki, the then President of Kenya, and renamed Meru University of Science and Technology. Ngaa is represented in the University Council. Culture and family traditions. The Meru are primarily agrarian, and the home life and culture is similar to other highland Bantus. The Meru have maintained adherence to a fairly strict customary code amongst the various cohorts of the population. For instance, circumcision is still a mandatory rite of passage for boys, during which time cultural education, including community norms and expectations, such as respect for elders and protection of children, are taught in a seclusion period that may last up to a month. As a matter of principle, young men must ensure minimal contact with their mothers after initiation. Nowadays, however, the depth of instruction varies depending on the extent of urban influence. Previously, girls would also undergo circumcision, but the practice was outlawed by Ngaa in April 1956. The practice has been progressively abandoned and is being replaced by instruction-based alternative rites of passage. Education. The Meru have had a strong modern educational heritage provided by the Christian missionaries. The main education institutions were started or sponsored by the Catholic, the Methodist and the Presbyterian churches. The Greater Meru has numerous institutions of learning, including primary schools, secondary schools, teacher training colleges, nursing schools, technical institutes and universities. One of the most prestigious chartered private university in Kenya, KMU, was the first to be established in the area in 2006. Two chartered public universities, Chaka University in Tharaka-Nithi County and Meru University of Science and Technology at Amîîrú, Meru County, have since been established. Several other institutions of higher learning, including the University of Nairobi, Egerton University, Kenyatta University, Cooperative University College, Nazarene University and Mount Kenya University, have established the satellite campuses in the area, making the Greater Meru a key education hub in Kenya. Economy. The Ameru primarily agrarian, growing a variety of crops and keeping livestock. The Greater Meru is endowed with soils and climatic conditions that allow for the production of a variety of commodities, including wheat, barley, potatoes, millet, sorghum and maize. High-grade tea, coffee, bananas and miraa are the key cash crops. The Meru were indeed the first Africans to grow coffee in Kenya in early 1930s upon the implementation of the Devonshire White Paper of 1923. Other crops include groundnuts and a wide range of legumes, vegetables and fruits. The Meru are also keepers of livestock, both for subsistence and commercial purposes. These include dairy and beef cattle, goats, sheep, poultry and honeybees. Besides, the area has huge potential for tourism by virtue of hosting the Meru and Mount Kenya national parks and the Lela Conservancy. Mining activity is also expected to pick up once the ongoing exploratory works on the iron ore deposits in Tharaka are completed. Politics and alliances. The Ameru wield a lot of political influence in Kenya, mainly due to their astute and strategic political organization. The community has not produced a president for the Republic of Kenya so far. However, members of the community have always held some key and strategic positions in the governments of the day. In the early years of Kenya's independence, the Meru were in the Gikuyu-Embu Meru Association Jema, a political mobilization outfit formed during the reign of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Jema is no longer a strong entity, but since the advent of plural politics in Kenya in 1992, the Meru have largely voted with the Kikuyu and the Embu in all subsequent presidential elections. In the non-presidential election, most constituencies in the Greater Meru vote in candidates based more on their individual merit than on the basis of the sponsoring political party. This particularly manifested itself in the general elections of the 4th of March 2013, where the Orange Democratic Party captured 2 seats in Meru County, despite the predominance of the Jubilee coalition in the Mount Kenya region. The elections also saw the historic election of Hon. Rahim Dawood, a Meru of Asian origin, to represent Meru North constituency, and Hon. Kinoti Gatobu, a 26-year-old independent candidate elected to represent Buri constituency. Subsequent to the same elections, Professor Kithure Kindiki, an international constitutional lawyer and a first-time senator, became the majority leader in the Senate. Meru Museum. The historical and cultural artifacts of the Meru people are preserved at the Meru Museum, formerly the Colonial DC's office located in Meru Town. The Ngaa Shrine at Enchiru is also gazetted as an heritage site and placed under the care of the National Museums of Kenya. The shrine is accessible and open to the public most time of the year unless there are Ngaa activities at the site. Members of the Ngaa, though bound by a strict oath of secrecy, can also provide valuable and authoritative information and insights into the Meru traditions and culture dating back to the yore and transmitted through generations. Some former and current Meru leaders. Political Hon. Peter M. Munya, Governor, Meru County and a former MP, Tigania East. Late Hon. Bernard Maid, former Lego representative for Central Province, Kenya. Late Jackson Harvester Angane, former Minister for Lands and Settlement. Late Jeremiah Kanyamu, a former Meru Mayor. Hon. David Mwiraria, a former Finance Minister. Hon. Kiraitu Murungi, Senator, Meru County and a 4-term MP, Amenti South. Hon. Gitabu Imanyera, former Member of Parliament, Meru Central, journalist and civil rights advocate. Hon. Rahim Dawood, MP, APK, Meru North *. Hon. Kinoti Gatobu, MP, Independent, Buri constituency. Hon. Karik Mabayuki, MP, TNA, Mara constituency. Hon. Mithika Linturi, MP, TNA, Igembe constituency. Hon. Samuel Ragwa, Governor, TNA, Tharaka-Nithi. Hon. Professor Kithure Kindiki, Senator, Tharaka-Nithi County, Leader of Majority. Hon. One's Miss Mother Minyuki, APK Member of Parliament, Chaka Igambangu. Military late Field Marshal Musa Mweriyama, Mau Mau. Late General Bamungay Maret Mau Mau. Major General Eustace Kajogi Nyera, Military General. Ngaa and to Local Administration. National Public Service Francis K. Mathaura, a former Head of Public Service and Secretary of the Cabinet, Kenya. Professor Margaret Kobia, Chairperson, Public Service Commission, Kenya. Academia and Research Professor Alfred Mutma, Chancellor, Kenya Methodist University. Professor Leah Morongu, Vice Chancellor, African Nazarene University. Professor Erastus Njoka, Vice-Chancellor Chuka University. Professor Jacob Kimanyi, Cabinet Secretary for Education, Kenya. Professor Japheth Magambo, Vice-Chancellor, Meru University of Science and Technology. Erastus Muthuari Kiagu, Chairman, Kenya National Education Board and AMP, Chairman, Kenya Education Tribunals Board. Dr. Gladys Mwiti, Chairperson of the Kenya Psychological Association. Board of Trustees for the Kenya Methodist University. Board Member for the International Society for Traumatic Stress Studies. http://www.ihlU page_id equals 2578. Judiciary in AMP. Law Hon. Lady Justice Martha Koome, Appellate Judge, Kenya. Hon. Justice Aaron Ringera, former Director, Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission. Hon. Justice Richard M. Wangard, Judge of High Court of Kenya. The late Hon. Justice Kaburu Boni, Judge of High Court of Kenya. Business and AMP. Corporate Jason Kimbui, Founder CEO, Cooperative Bank of Kenya. Wilfred Murungi, Chairman and CEO, Mastermind Tobacco Limited. Late Edward H. Delamy, a former Chief Executive, Capital Markets Authority, Kenya. Late Reuben Marambi, former CEO, National Bank of Kenya. Stephen Mute Imaniera, a former long-serving chairman of Kenya Tea Development Agency. Alexander Kaminchia, former CEO, Kenya Insurance Company and AMP, Kenya Commercial Bank. Henry Kinyua, former CEO, Kenya Planters Cooperative Union, co-founder Cooperative Bank of Kenya. Religious Rev. Dr. Lawi Mithu, former Presiding Bishop, Methodist Church of Kenya. RT. Rev. Salesius Mugambi, Bishop, Ordinary, Catholic Diocese of Meru. Rev. Dr. Samuel Kobia, former General Secretary, World Council of Churches. Rev. Dr. Joyce Karianki, first ordained female minister in the Methodist Church. Arts, Sports and AMP. Music. Kamanu Mtwamwari, musician. Anderson Murita, athlete. 100m. *, politician in Meru but of Indian descent, not traditionally Meru. However, has been adopted by members of the Ameru.